Yes, people, welcome back to another TS Talks podcast. Hope you're doing good, keeping safe. Now, in this one, I'm just talking about the upcoming London elections, which are taking place on the 6th of May. Now, um, I saw a thing the other day of a debate between Sadiq Khan and Sean Bailey, and there's a lot of he say, she say sort of thing, and um, I found it a bit weird because, according to a lot of the bookmakers and that, Sean Bailey ain't even, Sadiq Khan's biggest threat to his position. The biggest threat to it is really Brian Rose, who's an independent candidate. And I say independent, I know his party is known as the London Real Party. And, I actually heard of Brian Rose before from, his videos on YouTube. I see him do videos with the likes of um, Derek Chisora. I think it's called All About the Green, and being someone that's into boxing, I was like, oh, let me check this out. Let me listen to this, and then um, I have to say, Brian Rose has had like some super duper like YouTube ads. Like you want to talk about AdSense and ads and how ads can put you out there. I first seen this thing about London Mayor, and I was thinking, yeah, man, whatever. This is like time ago. Um, like last year before the pandemic and that. And I was like, oh, okay, fine. Then over more time, every other video I went on, I see video after video after video. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to check it out a bit more. Some of the certain things he was saying about the whole pandemic and the restrictions, I thought, oh, you know what, this guy does have a point about a few things. I know he had that video with David Icke, which, vanished. Um, you don't know why, but it vanished. And he's been saying a lot of good points. And he went out there earlier on in the year, tried to campaign. He got shot down near London Bridge. Then the next day they tried to, the police stopped the bus. Then when they found out he went on the bus, they let it go. It was a bit political from you know the authorities. And then a few weeks ago they decided to do a a debate between Khan and Bailey, which I watched because I want to see what these guys have to say. Like, one thing I saw Bailey saying, "Oh, well, you shut these police stations or youth clubs or whatnot," and then um, Khan's like saying, "Well, but yeah, it was shut." And you was the guy that was advising the police. So it's like, well, like, what are you talking about? Like, you advise of these things happen. I know you're trying to call it out. And unfortunately, with that Bailey guy, he doesn't come across too well. Unfortunately, he just seems like um, a man that some of his points just ain't right. And a lot of, I have to say, a lot of these Tories, they find people um, of not, you know, they're not their background to be of, English descent, but their background's either someone that's, of a black background or an Asian background, and they get them to kind of do their, and Uncle Thomas, really, get them to kind of do their dirty work and come across a certain way, which is terrible. Like, you look at someone like Pretty Patel, for example, she's got all these things she's trying to put into place about immigration, but your surname would tell you that the descendants of your family were immigrants. I know that my mum came here from Jamaica, but I wouldn't think of that to one day I'd be like, oh yeah, well, we're shutting down immigration here. It's like, right, like it's all mad. But if someone else of not of her background, let's say like a Hancock, who I don't even like, the guy there, he's another little slimy one. But if it was a man like him doing all that, a lot more, things will be clamped down on it. Like, oh, hold on, no, this is coming across a bit, a bit racist and that here. But when it's someone like her, it's like, well, look at her background. Like, you can't really say this. So they're smart. They get these people to do the dirty work for them. But you know, and I think Bailey's another one of them that um, the last general election, like the Tories won by a landslide. because of some in-house political stuff with Labour. But um, the Tories ain't, the whole pandemic has been proved to be liabilities, even of recent. You know, um, I'm gonna do a separate video on it called government fraud about Boris, Hancock, Patel, all of them. They're all at it. So it's all mad. But in regards to Bailey, I can't see it. You know, I don't think I don't even think the Tory voters in London even have any respect for this guy. So he'll be interesting. I was looking at his, whatever they call it, manifesto, and his thing is, 8,000 extra police officers, 4,000 youth workers, and 100,000 homes for £100,000 using shared ownership. Now, okay, 8,000 extra police officers. All right, that all sounds good, but to do what? Because it can't be all 8,000 of them on the beat. It's like you gotta have a plan of like, well, I'm gonna deploy this amount here, this amount there. You can't just throw numbers out, you know. And he's talking about 4,000 youth workers. I remember the last election, Labour was talking, not Labour, the Tories were talking about 50,000 more nurses, but part of the 50,000 was trying to retain staff. That makes no sense. So um, with this guy, I don't know. Like I said, for me, I feel he's a bit of an Uncle Tomish character. But whatever he's doing with his life, I wish him the best of luck of it. But I personally don't see it going with this guy. Then you got the current mayor, Khan, who personally, I've said before that I've kind of felt it for him because I feel like he's a Labour man trying to run in a Tory country, and it's tough because that man there, like Boris, don't even like you, so you're in like you're just in a losing battle all the time, sort of thing. And yeah, his only thing in his manifesto is jobs, jobs, jobs. It's like, yo, what jobs? It's all good saying jobs, 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 but jobs in what sector? At least we'd know, okay, cool. Jobs are likely to come in this sector. It's all good saying jobs, 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 but where's the jobs coming from? A lot of businesses are going out of, a lot of businesses have gone out of business in the last 12 to 18 months because of the pandemic. So it's all good saying jobs, 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 but where and for who? What sector is it for? Like, you can't just say stuff and not have much to back it up. And he's like, oh, we'll build a record number of council homes. Okay, but where you plan to build his record number of council homes? And with Khan, he's let himself down recently with, some, he was doing, some press, and some people in the local neighborhood wherever he was went to go ask him questions, and he was just like, he literally breezed off. And, and I remember I saw a video where one of the guys that wanted to ask him a question said that how his PA tried to come out and say, um, oh, like he's no longer in there. And they were like, well, we know the cafe ain't got no secret back exit or underground tunnel, so he's in there. And, all these things he's put into place, like these, what do they call it? Low traffic neighborhoods, like all of that's nonsense. Like the other week I was driving past like the Arsenal stadium, and whoever's been in around the area will know, but it's like if you're coming, like you drive past the Arsenal Stadium, you can cut around the back of Finsbury Park, and you're more or less by like you can end up by Clissold Park. But for them, I must have went to go do it. I'm thinking, yeah, driving fine, fine, fine. I got the road, it says no entry. Oh, okay, fuck, cool. I'll take the next road, no entry. The next road, I literally had to go back, and I was like, what sort of nonsense is that? For what? Who's that benefiting? No one. Then you just put everyone to go down Highbury and Islington, and it's just mad traffic. And then you'll be the same people talking about the emissions and that. I don't know, man. I feel he'd probably get re-elected just based on the fact of how bad the Tories have been this past 12 to 18 months. But um, he didn't really seem to be doing too much either. And then the guy I mentioned, Brian Rose. Um, he actually seems to have a plan in place. Whether he's able to put it across properly, who knows? But I look at his manifesto. He says, Londoners want four things. what focus on four things, or worry about four things: crime, jobs, transport, housing. I agree. Um, Housing's a very, serious thing in London. Lots of people are moving out of London based on house prices. Transport's another one. You know, everyone's more or less forced into, traveling into London now on public transport because of things like the congestion charge. He's talked about how, if he's elected, he would abolish the congestion charge until next year, just to get more people coming into London, which I think is a good idea. So, um, you know, he even said he would drop business rates to zero, just I think with the fact of getting more foot flow and people into London should overall help businesses, profits and revenue go up, which should help the economy more. So I kind of understand his points. He said he wants to raise around 100 million to go directly into community centres. Now, whether he's able to do that or not, it sounds good. But again, this whole youth club thing, has been a talking point for years. And when I was young, I was like, yeah, youth club sounds good. Youth club sounds good. Like, I had a youth club in my estate. But sooner or later, like, youth club ain't always the answer. Because like in my youth club, was like what we had. You had like what? It was like an Xbox table, tennis table, maybe pool or something. Okay, that's cool when you're like 14, 15, maybe 16. But the older you get, then it might be like you might need something that's like, okay, it's gonna give you skills in terms of, applying for jobs, CVs, applying to go to university, real life skills. These are the sort of things you're gonna need. So it's all good saying, um, youth clubs, but it needs to be more of, with these community centers and youth clubs, is there something where, there's links that, you're able to help young people get into certain courses within education. You're able to help young people get into certain, experiences of getting work experience. These are the sort of things we need to look at. The youth club alone sounds like a good idea, but it's got to be an actual long-term purpose to it, in my opinion. But yeah, for me, I think the election, is mainly between Khan and Rose. For me personally, I'm kind of split on, I would say, Khan and Rose. Um, Myself, I probably say I'm about 60-40, swaying in the position of Rose at the moment. And as the time goes on and gets closer to the election, Khan ain't doing nothing to really make a case for himself. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it all. Obviously, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you listen on YouTube, obviously if you listen on Spotify, hit me up on the Instagram TSTALKS_. And yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.